With 1990 the hottest artist of all time, Todd McFarlane sold more than 2 million copies of the first issue of Spider-Man, which he wrote, penciled, and inked. But then Jim Lee drew the first issue of X-Men and sold more than 8 million copies. Though I think having 5 versions of the cover had something to do with that. Both had awesome art, but in a different way. McFarlane bends reality and adds a ton of style, and Jim Lee is known for his realistic depictions, almost in a European way. I love both, but I can't separate McFarlane from Spider-Man and Jim Lee from X-Men. So let's see if I can redraw Spider-Man in the style of Jim Lee. Okay, first let's do this panel, because it has their faces. So for Peter, I'm gonna keep the pose exactly the same. MJ, maybe play with it a little bit, especially because Jim Lee's hair is gonna look a lot different. Got a ton of research for the muscles. And I don't just want to copy one of them. I want to mix kind of everything to blend into that Jim Lee style. For the face, I think Iceman kind of looks like Peter, that young guy face that Jim Lee does. And then the haircut of Banshee, minus the sideburns. Okay, so the trick is gonna be that typical Jim Lee cross-hatching in the shadows. And also hands he draws really well. Also those typical legs. Realistic knees. The arm is looking a bit flat, so let's bulge the bottom of the lines maybe. Okay. Get those ribs. This is very typical Jim Lee, and actually Will Sportacio does this as well. The little triangle diamond shapes in the hatching. MJ. Jim Lee draws perfect women, and the secret is to keep the lines to the bare minimum. But then of course the lines have to be perfect, so quite tricky. But I have good reference here, just gonna mix these. Looking good, so can cut and paste and move some layers around. But no, let's start from scratch. Maybe a boob can pop out on the side. Nope, looks better without it. Also here, in this storm leg, you also really see how to create beautiful legs with just 2 lines is knowing where the peaks of the lines are. The calf looks different on the left than it does on the right. And if you get the right balance, it looks really good. Okay, now the hair. In previous drawings I rushed the hair, and I'm not going to make that mistake. So take my time with the hair. Every strand counts. Okay, let's start inking. Line's looking looking a bit thick, but I'm bigger than the example, so I think it's okay. Some good cross-hatching practice right here. Thicker shadows on the bottom. Okay, these parallel lines here on the shoulder, you can't really see that in the examples, but I'll fix that later. Here too on the leg, it's gonna be full black later. Make these really crisp. Also got plenty of examples of the hands, because that's also something I am practicing recently. Spiderman webbing, rub the blacks, and that's it. Color it two-tone, but I need me a web slinging Spidey too. I love this one. And yes, I'm cheating again. I'm taking the black suit. Not that it's easy, because you still need to drop those highlights in the right spots, like in Gambit's pants here. Of course, this is classic Jim Lee, but what about this? That almost looks like the same pose. So let's start from here. And again, I'm not gonna just copy it exactly. I'm just starting from there and then playing with the limbs. And when it comes to these jump or fly poses, you just have to keep going and turning it around until you feel this yes in your mind. It's fun to just start on a different layer and then reduce the transparency of the one under it, and then just slightly change it. Coming together here. Typical Jim Lee feet. Gotta figure out where to put the arms and the head. I like the legs though, but let's start over. Ooh, yep. Here I heard a big yes in my mind, so this is it. Make sure the lines are rounded in the right direction. This is easy with the outline. And examples. And here in this Havoc, it looks cool when the line is kind of erased. So with an eraser, just like cuts outline into black. Just make sure it's in the right direction and that it's sharp in the end. Then and drop those blue lights. I don't worry about the chin because the white spider will contrast with the chin. Fix that foot. And swing. Here it is. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 14 by Jim Lee. I just finished a 100 artist challenge series, but this is a fun thing to do as well. So drop some what if requests if you want to see me tackle an artist in a specific issue. Drop a like if you like this one and catch you next time.